This gives you awareness. Awareness is the master discipline. Awareness gives you clarity. Clarity gives you focus. Focus gives you action. Action gives you results, which gives you momentum, which gives you everything.
This is By Joyan Season 2. I'm your host, Joyan Chan, and every Wednesday we bring you inspiring stories, powerful message, and fun conversations with me and my special guests and friends, and it's my personal mission to empower you to live and lead a life with joy. This podcast is for you if you're looking for more joy, courage, passion, and purpose in your life. Now let's dive into today's episode and get ready to laugh, learn, and live your life to the fullest. Our guest today helps singles, couples, and families overcome their struggles and issues in relationships in a rapid and powerful manner with proven results so that they can live richer, fuller lives filled with love. He has been featured in numerous publications and media outlets, including iHeartRadio, Fox News, Sky TV, Harvard, ABC, NBC, and much more. He has coached celebrities including Mike Tyson. He also was a guest speaker with Richard Branson on Necker Island, and he has been invited by heads of state and spiritual leaders like the Dalai Lama to meet them. He has held relationship and mindset workshops in over 18 countries and translated in 8 languages with audiences of over 10,000 fans. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me in welcoming the double best-selling international author, TEDx speaker, the love doctor, Anil Gupta.
Thank you for inviting me, Joanne. And I promise that the listeners will get great value today.
I know you deliver for sure. Based on my research, the videos that I've watched, the work that you do, I'm just so impressed and fascinated. I'm so honored to have you on the show today. So thank you so much for coming. But I would like to start with perhaps a very difficult question, or maybe not so, because you spoke about going through a very difficult period in 2008. You were suicidal. You were going through some challenges. So would you be open to sharing what you were experiencing at that time, and how did it shape the work you do today?
Absolutely. I was investing in the stock market, real estate, and that all crashed, and I lost everything. And I didn't think there was a way back. I thought I was not good enough, not smart enough. There was something wrong with me, that I'm a failure. My family would be better off without me. So there were the thoughts that were going through my head. And I remember having to tell my wife, honey, something really bad has happened. And she looked up at me and she said, what's going on? I said, honey, I've lost the house, the cars, the school funds, everything. And Joanne, she looked up at me and smiled. And I thought, what's wrong with you? Said, honey, I thought it was something serious. I thought you were dying. I thought you had cancer. I don't care about the money. I was shocked, Joanne, because that's what I thought that she wanted, but I never asked her. You see, that's what we do in life. We think we know what's best for the other person. We think we know what they want, but we don't until you ask. And you'll be shocked by the answer. So if you're listening, ask your partner, what is it you really want? Ask your children, what is it you really want? Ask your children, how could I change to be a better parent to you? Ask your parents, how could I be a better child to you? By asking these questions, it will take away a lot of the uncertainty that you have. Because if your partner says they want X, just give them X. If it's possible, if they say, I want a 50-carat diamond ring, that's something different. But most of the time, women will ask their men to be present, to be loving, to not fix them, not criticize them, not compare them, and just be, the best version of themselves. By asking these questions, you get clarity. And from that clarity, you can always have that discussion. I can't do this, but I can do this. Or why don't we do this? But it's better to have clarity than try and guess.
That's all right. Yeah. And because a lot of couples today, they don't communicate. Their marriages are falling apart. It's all because they don't communicate enough, or they don't know how to communicate, right? So you are known as a love doctor. What does love truly mean to you beyond the surface level idea that most people know about?
So it's a great question. Love is acceptance. If you can accept the other person as they are, that's what love is. But what happens is when we first start dating, we make the other person a priority. Whatever they say, whatever they do, we're listening to them and we're responding and we're being loving and very, proactive in pleasing them. Then you get engaged, you get married, and then you start thinking, well, I don't have to do that anymore. So instead of your partner getting 100% of the attention, it becomes 90%, then 80%, then 70%, then 60%, then it becomes 50-50. So it becomes transactional. I'll love you if you do this. I'll respect you if you do this. So it becomes very unfair and painful. Whereas if you make your partner your number one priority and they make you their number one priority, the relationship will thrive. They will never think of leaving you. They will honor you and make life easy for you, and vice versa.
Okay. So love is acceptance. But aren't we supposed to help the other person grow? Or should we just accept them for who they are instead of trying to help them to become a better person? How do we know what to accept and what to, not accept?
So in every minute, if you accept them as they are, it doesn't mean they can't grow. It doesn't mean that. So when you accept them in this moment, I love you as you are. Tomorrow you'll be a different person, but I will still love you as you are. But let's work together to improve the quality of our lives. Let's do something to add more years to our life and more life to our years. And this is another thing that we should look at. If you're in a relationship, there are three things you have to look for in a partnership. The first one is integrity. You have to have a partner with integrity. They say what they're going to do and do it. They don't gossip, they don't complain, they don't say bad words about other people. They're on time, they are their word. Honest, reliable, trustworthy. The second part, they have to be loving, not just to you, but to everybody. How do they treat waiters, waitresses, hotel staff? And the third one, they have to grow emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, and financially. So if you're looking for a partner, they're the three things you look for. If you're in a relationship and you're not sure if it's the right relationship, they're the three things you need to look for.
Okay. Well, I must say these three things are not what usually will be on people's lists, when they look for a partner.
Correct.
Like they wouldn't think of integrity or growth or loving others, right? I mean, these are so unusual, but they're so important. And the way you explain it is just wow. I mean, I can't believe no one is putting that on their list.
Yeah, because we're taught to fall in love.
Yeah.
We meet someone in a bar and you spend 4 or 5 hours talking to them, you think, oh, this is the one. But Joanne, if you were to buy a house, you wouldn't just look at that pretty house and buy it, would you? You look at it, you get the appraisal, the valuation, the inspection, the lawyers would look at it, the neighbors, the neighborhood, schools, roads, highways, hospitals. You would do your due diligence, mortgage rates, everything. But people don't do that. They say yes to a relationship until they find out, oh, it's a no. There's something wrong with this person. And also, if you were to sell your house, you wouldn't just put it on the market. You would clean it up, you'd tidy it up, you'd make it have street and curb appeal. So when I work with people, we work on them first. We clean them up first. We make them the best version of themselves. And then when that happens, they will attract a different type of person that will be more compatible. So I call it ABCD. Always be collecting data. Collect the data before you start dating. It will save you a lot of pain, a lot of suffering.
Yeah, like you said, we fall in love so quickly. How do we tell the difference between genuine love and attachment, especially when the emotions feel so intense at the very beginning?
Yeah, it's a great question. And it's ABCD. Always be collecting data. So you ask yourself this question: has my partner said something they would do and did not do it? Is my partner always on time? And it's okay to be late, but how do they handle being late? Do they apologize? What do they say about other people? What was their last relationship like? Are they in still communication with their last partner? What did they say about their last partner? If they say bad things about their last partner, guess what? They're going to say bad things about you. So these are all refinements. How loving are they? How do they treat other people? How do they treat their parents? How do they treat their friends? How do they treat people that they work with, their colleagues? And then ask yourself, what emotional issues do they have? Are they on therapy? How long have they been on therapy? Are they on medications? Have they ever tried to hurt themselves? Have they got great relationships? Are they, emotionally have low emotional quotient? Do they get upset easily? Do they react? Do they stop communication? These are the things you need to collect the data on. Obviously, it's a lot more refined, and when I coach people, we go into much greater depth, and there's some nuances. And anyone who would work with me would never make the mistake of picking the wrong partner. You see, 90% of relationships fail, Joanne. Did you know that?
Yep, I've heard that.
Yeah, because we have 5 or 6 relationships before we get married, and then we think the seventh one is the right one, but we don't know. It's just guesswork.
But do you truly believe that is the right? Do you truly believe that is the one, like the one person, your soulmate, right? Or we make the person the right partner? Does it make sense?
There's no soulmate, in my opinion. If you think of if there's a soulmate, how would it at all be possible to pick one person out of 8 billion people? It's impossible. But when we make a decision, we have to make it based on um, content, based on data, and you have to pick a partner that you can get on well with, someone who compliments you, doesn't rely on you. You don't have to make them happy. They don't have to make you happy. And it's just like friendships. We have great friends and we get on well with them. And as we get on well with them, the friendship deepens. So it's important to make sure that you're aligned, your values are aligned, because potentially you're going to be with this person for the next 50 years. So communication is really important. Making sure your partner is loved and respected and honored, not criticized. Don't compare them. Treat them with love, and everything will be fine.
But what if this person ticks all the boxes, right? Integrity, treats other people well, doesn't talk badly about the ex partners. I mean, yeah, he fulfills them all. But what if I just don't have feeling for this guy, or I just don't love this guy, quote unquote? Like, what is the right decision to make here?
Well, then you have to look at your own integrity. Could I be with this partner for the rest of my life, knowing that it doesn't vibrate with me? But also, you wouldn't collect the data from someone that you have no attraction to. So there has to be some sort of attraction, not a deep, lusty attraction, but just like, oh, he's interesting. I kind of like that. Oh, that's good. And then what happens is, as you get deeper into that relationship, the person that you're thinking of being with becomes more loving, becomes more beautiful, becomes more gentle, because you're focusing on different things. You're not just focusing on the looks, you're looking at the internal side of things.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much for that. Now, from my experience working with people across so many different countries, cultures, regions, what are the most common patterns that keep people stuck, no matter where they are, who they are, what skin tone they have, what are some of the common patterns that you see people stuck in unhealthy relationships?
One of the biggest ones is forgiveness. people won't forgive their partner or won't forgive something that happened in their past, maybe their parents. So forgiveness is the express pathway to freedom. The quality of your life is dependent upon the depth and authenticity of the forgiveness you extend to yourself and to others. You see, people will hold on to something which doesn't exist, it's in their head. And it's costing their health, their vitality, their growth, their passion, everything. So that's one of the first things I do when I coach people is to do a forgiveness exercise. And when I do that, it's like a lady said the other day, it's 1,000 pounds of weight lifted off her shoulder. It makes a big difference because, imagine you going to the airport with 16 bags and you take it on the plane. It's not easy. But if you remove that baggage, everything becomes so much easier.
Yeah. Would you be able to share the forgiveness exercise? Is it doable? Possible to share? Is it a long exercise or is it a short one that we can actually do here?
It's a process. I would need to do a deep audit of the person,
Okay.
look at what makes them happy, what makes them sad, look at all these things that have happened in the past. But it's just like preparing a meal. Cooking the meal only takes a few minutes, but preparing all the ingredients, the amounts, having the right tools, that takes most of the time. But actually cooking the meal, putting it in the oven, it's easy. But it's all the prep work that goes in. And once you do the prep work and you do this exercise, your life completely changes. It adds more years to your life and more life to your years.
So you're known for creating rapid and powerful results. So what is really the key shift that allows transformation to happen so quickly for all your clients?
The secret is this: I have an intuitive gift that can remove the obstacles that are preventing them from leading richer, fuller, happier lives. So, for example, if you imagine a huge factory and it shuts down, a huge oil refinery, okay, and it shuts down and it's losing $10 million a day, okay, they get engineers, experts, scientists, no one can figure it out. Then they call Anil. I go in and say, hey, I know what the problem is, and I fix it. That's what I do. I have an intuitive gift.
So you can just by connecting with that person, by them sharing with you their past, their current, you know, you will be able to tell what is really keeping them stuck.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, because I've been doing it for 30 years. So human beings have certain patterns and behaviors, and it's basically based on I'm not good enough,
Okay.
I'm not smart enough, there's something wrong with me, I'm not enough, I'm not lovable, I'm not smart enough. Uh, all of these things that humans go through. And if we can if we can unblock the big thing, all the other stuff starts to get handled. It's really understanding the person, what they need to let go of, who do they need to forgive, what's one thing that they need to change, and everything changes.
Yeah, the domino effect, right? But then what is the method, or do you even have a method that you use? Because yes, it's your intuition that is telling you what needs to change, but that person still need to change, right? So what is the method that you use? Maybe like, I don't know, like hypnosis that just comes to mind, that helps, what is the word that I'm looking for, that helps execute the transformation.
So it's a toolkit. I give them a brand new toolkit, and I do role play.
Okay.
So let me give you an example. Do you ever get upset?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. What if I taught you a way that you never get upset?
I would love that.
Okay. Would you like me to show you?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, Joanne, if I asked you to get a chainsaw,
Uh-huh.
cut off your right shoulder, you know that you would die. And I said, hey, cut off your right shoulder and give it to me, would you do it?
No.
It's a super no, correct?
Yes. Super no,
It's a
yes.
rule that you have. Yeah?
Okay.
It's a good rule, keep it. All right? Now, Joanne, if I said, what if you had the same rule for your happiness? I will never give my happiness away. I will never get upset. I will never give my joy away. It's too important. You see, we readily give our happiness away. We would never give our right shoulder away because that's a golden rule. And we never do that. But what if you had the same golden rule for your happiness, for your joy, for your peace, for your sanctity? Can you feel the difference now?
Yes.
You get to run life instead of life running you. You don't have to react. You can respond. And then the benefit of that is that you more calmer. The benefit of that, you have more energy. The benefit of that, you make a bigger difference. The benefit of that, you make a bigger impact. The benefit of that is that the world will change. So there's a compounding effect of the work that we do. When we change, the world changes.
Yeah. But it starts with us. So yeah, I want to talk to you about the happiness formula that you also have created.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the happiness formula? And yeah, I mean, yeah, what is the happiness formula?
The happiness formula is this. Happiness is equal to G times G times G.
Well, that is really a formula.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to give your audience and your viewers and listeners a practical methodology. So use this formula. The first G is you have to give. Your time, your energy, your love, your commitment, your joy. Give it away without wanting anything in return. Okay? The second G is be grateful for what you have and don't focus on what you don't have. And the third G is you have to grow emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, and financially. Okay? So on August the 25th at 8:30 a.m. EST, my happiness score for give was 9, for grow was 9, and for gratitude was 9, which is 729. At 9:05 a.m., my happiness score went down to 1. So Joanne, can you see it went from 925 to 1?
Uh-huh.
That's a big jump. I slipped and fell and fractured my left hand in 9 places, plus a dislocation, needed surgery, titanium plate, 13 screws. In that moment, my give was 1, my gratitude was 1, and my growth was 1. Then I asked myself, how could I give in this moment? So I thanked the people around me. I made them laugh. By making them laugh, it took the focus off my painful hand. So my give went up to 5. Then I thought, how could I be grateful? And I thought, Anil, it's your left hand. I'm right-handed. This is my pickleball hand. Thank goodness it was my left hand. So my gratitude went to 5. Then I thought, how could I grow? And I thought, well, I could share my story. I could teach other people what I went through. That adversity doesn't mean your life is destroyed. It means that it gives you an opportunity to grow. So that I could share my story with other people. So my growth went to 5. So 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So my score went from 729 to 1 to 125. So for all the listeners, viewers out there, if you look at this formula, give, grow, gratitude, ask yourself, what's my lowest G? Is it give? Is it grow? Is it gratitude? And keep on working on the lowest G. So Joanne, right now, what's your lowest G? Give, grow, or gratitude?
It's the second G, gratitude, is my lowest.
Okay, great. So look at your hands.
Okay.
When was the last time you thanked them?
Never.
What have they done for you?
Everything.
Everything. And they don't complain. They just go and do it. You know, Joanne, your heart,
Yep.
you know how many beats it has done so far? How many times it's beaten? Give me a number.
I don't know, like probably billions. Yeah.
1 billion. 1,000. It's 100,000 beats a day. 100,000 beats a day. Think about that. It never gives up. Your liver, your kidneys have filtered millions of gallons of water, of blood. So we are a walking miracle. There's so much to be grateful for. The chair you're sitting on, the air that you're breathing. You know, it's not taxed and it's free. So focus on today, gratitude, things, and then all of a sudden you'll feel better because everything rises.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'm grateful to you, and my hand, and everything. So I also want to talk to you about the other tools that you have developed, which is the relationship ratio and the relationship score. So how can people, again, someone in the, listening to this episode, they are in a relationship, how can they use these tools to improve their relationships today?
So the relationship score is this. It's if you imagine that 10 is the best possible relationship you have, and 0 is the worst possible relationship. So ask yourself, what is the relationship score I have with my partner? What is the relationship score I have with my father? What is the relationship score I have with my mother? What is the relationship score I have with my siblings, with my work colleagues? And write the score down. And if it's a 7, that just tells you there's room to improve. Then you ask yourself, what do I need to do to improve that relationship? See, this gives you awareness. See, awareness is the master discipline. Awareness gives you clarity. Clarity gives you focus. Focus gives you action. Action gives you results, which gives you momentum, which gives you everything.
Beautiful. I love how you have a formula for everything. It just makes things so, like realistic, like tangible, like we can actually look at. Yeah.
And that's what we need. We need practical tools to lead a richer, fuller, happier life. And we've provided that to your audience today so that they can immediately impact their lives.
But you see, you have coached people like Mike Tyson. You have shared stages with Richard Branson. I saw your picture with Richard Branson. That's just like amazing. But what is something surprising that you learn about success and relationship at that level?
So, what I learned is that the more successful you become, sometimes the more pain you will suffer because you can be successful but not fulfilled. So, a, a lot of my high end clients are very successful, but they're not fulfilled because they're not respected at home. They're not loved at home. There's tension at home. And that makes life very painful because there's an expectation is I'm so successful, I should be happier,
Yep.
but they're not. And that's where they need the clarity. They need a mentor to guide them through so that they can really enjoy all the hard work that they've done.
Yeah. Yeah, I asked that question because I know I always have that questions in mind. Like, do we only get to choose one? It's either your career or your relationship. Like, can't we have both, right? I mean, but still, I believe that there's no. I don't believe in work life balance, to be honest, right? If you really want something to be successful, you really have to put in more effort to make it work. So it's the same. If you want to put in effort in your relationship, then your relationship will blossom. But if you want to be successful in your career, then of course you will kind of neglect your relationship. I mean, that's at least, of course, you are the expert. So, what would you say?
So you can have it all.
Okay.
And what I noticed the problem is this: if you're successful at work in your business, you tend to use the same tools in your relationship. It doesn't work. And you're right, there is no work life, work home life balance. There isn't, because when you're working, it's 100% work. There's no balance. But if you're at home and you're with your partner, with your kids, you should be 100% with them, not focusing on work. So there's no balance there, but there's an equilibrium. And this is where the relationship ratio comes in. The relationship ratio is how much time do you spend on business? How much time do you spend on relationships? So if you're spending 60 hours a week on your business and 1 hour a week on your relationship, the ratio is 60, which is not good. But if you changed it to 30, just spending an extra hour with the family, if you spend another 4 hours with the family, it would be 60 over 5, which is 12. So this is something that gives you awareness, and it gives you a way to focus on the thing that's going to give you the maximum results.
Yeah, so you said that people who are successful at work, at career, they are using the same strategies on their relationship. What do you mean by that?
Well, they push through it. They whatever makes them successful at work, they try and use that at home, but it doesn't work because it's a different environment. There's different needs and wants from the people that you love. It's a different tone. It's a different energy. So if we try and do that and it's not working, we continue to do it because that's what happens at work. You know, you keep going until it starts to work. But there's languaging, there's tone, there's listening skills that need to be exercised. There's role play where you talk to your partner in a certain way and then you reverse the roles. There's languaging, there's feedback that you can give your partner. They may not always want it, but it's about communication and it's about listening. We need to listen more, speak less.
True. Yeah, I love that. And I also want to go back to something you we briefly talked about earlier, which is this the belief that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, right? And I'm not pretty enough, whatever. For someone who feels unworthy of love, and that's the reason why they keep attracting the toxic relationship, the toxic partner, the wrong partner, right? Who doesn't treat them right. And it's all because they are their belief, right? They are unworthy of love. So where should they begin so that they can change this toxic pattern?
So the thing I would work on initially would be worthiness. Increase your self-worth. So if I said to you, if I held up $100 note and I asked you how much is it worth, it's worth $100, correct?
Yep.
No matter what you say to it, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, there's something wrong with you're a failure. It's still worth $100. So I would tell my clients, you are the $100 note. No matter what anyone says to you, your value never changes. That's where you get self-worth. But Joanne, that $100 note, I can go to Walmart and spend it there. That same $100 can buy another $100 worth of goods. That same $100 can then go and buy another $100 worth of goods. And I say this to my clients, wherever you go, you bring value. You are worthy.
How do we increase our own values? I don't want to be $100 note. I want to be $1,000 more. How do we increase our self-worth?
Well, it's not about increasing the value, it's just being the value. You already are the highest denomination currency in the world. And wherever you go, you can bring more value. you are already the highest denomination currency in the world. Once you accept that, then all you have to do is go spread the word. Be so amazing that you cannot be ignored.
I love that. Yeah. Now the last question is, because I always want to leave people who are listening to this episode, something they can do right away. I know you have shared a lot of amazing formulas, tools they can implement their life right away. But if someone listening today wants to experience a richer, fuller life filled with love, what would you say is the first step? Or after listening to everything we talk about, what is one thing you want them to do after this episode ends?
I would request them to perform 5 to 10 random acts of kindness every single day. See, when you perform an act of kindness, you receive endorphins, you feel good. The person receiving the gift receives endorphins, they feel good. The person observing the gift feels good. The person sharing the gift feels good. The person receiving the share feels good. So it goes on and on and on. And I promise you, once you start giving, it becomes such a beautiful joy to give that your life will start to change.
Yeah. I believe that. I truly believe that, because we so focus on what we're gonna get, what am I gonna get, right? And we forget about the giving part. And I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Anil. Now tell my people, if they want to learn more about what you do, want to buy your book or connect with you, where's the best place to connect with you?
So the best place is my website, meetanil.com. And if you're going through some obstacles and some struggles and you want a fast resolution, you can book a time with me, which is chatwithanil.com.
That's amazing. I mean, wow, you're offering that act of kindness. All right, guys. I know you love today's episode because you are listening to the very end. And if today's episode gave you, I hope today's episode gave you new perspective on love, relationship, your happiness. And I invite you to take a moment to really let that sink in, and go through some of the exercises that Anil has shared with us today. Make sure you go follow him, show him some love, and thank him for coming to our show, sharing his wisdom. And of course, if you are new here, don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast. Thanks for listening, and I wish you all a joyful and amazing day ahead. Thank you again for tuning into Find Joy Joyan podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, take a screenshot and share it on your IG story and tag Find Joy Joyan _podcast so I know you are listening. And leave us a positive review on Apple Podcasts if you haven't already done so. And remember to hit the subscribe button whether you are listening on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, or any of your other favorite platforms. If you love what we are doing and want to become one of our sponsors, you can send me a DM to connect. And thanks for being here. I will see you soon in the next episode.